welcome to another amazing day at fmtraining.tv. My name is Margaret. I'll be your broadcast engineer for today. I'm here with the wonderful Ken Tooley and Nick Hunter. Thank you both very much for coming. Seriously, we're continuing a really awesome series that we've been doing for a long time now. I think we're on day like 35. Okay, so we're continuing our existing FileMaker file design and modernization workshop. Basically, Nick is renovating a complete file completely live, so you get to see how a senior engineer would tackle certain problems. If you'd like to support the channel, we'd greatly appreciate it. We have our FM Trainee annual subscription bundles. We got 3 options here. Pick one that best suits you. This version comes with FileMaker Pro if you don't have it already. It's really great for beginners, intermediate, advanced developers. Seriously, like if you've got parts of the platform you don't work with very often that you need to know, like FileMaker Server is a big one, we cover that really in depth, and so you can approach it and deal with it in your own time. So, with that being said, I think I'm good. So, Nick, what are we doing today?
Hello, Marge. Hello, Ken. How are you today? Hello, everybody online. And I know we have all the best people online every day. So thank you for being with us and following us and supporting the channel as well. So as what's it? Marge, Marge said, so this is how we tackle, the what we call the coaching, right? So that's what we do, when you call us and you say, okay, fix the file for us and for me or for us. And we share screen and we do exactly what we do here. It's the same thing. I encourage you to do that, and you don't have to ask us to rebuild the whole thing, and we can just work on something like a performance, layout, design, whatever. So yeah, that's something interesting to do. So today we continue the series. So Ken, can you reformulate what you just said about what you want to do with the documents?
So we're building this file that has pilots and balloons and all of their documents. And as a file for one organization, it works well, especially with all the things that you are tweaking on it. But I have other ballooning organizations that would have a use for basically the same file. And I have a lot of the pilots and balloons that would be in both files, or literally 3 or 4 files. So now if someone updates a document, I would have to update it in 2, 3, 4 places, depending on how many databases there were. So I started thinking, what if there were a master documents file? And anytime I got a document, it would go into that file. And then the 3 other ones, or 4, the organizational files, if I can call them that they could just go to the master document file and look it up, bring a copy over, whatever we would do. I'm thinking that would save me, one, updating the document 3 or 4 times, but also having 3 or 4 copies of that document taking up space on the server as well. I would have 1 copy of the document in a master document. So what would that look like? Is that feasible? What would we need to know about that to set something like that up? Not that we need to set it up now, but just kind of thinking down the line.
What we can do first is to ask people online if they'd like this to be implemented. So the first thing I want to ask. Okay, we have many buzz. So I have 3 buzz. Okay, that's all.
Hi, Buzz. It's just not
okay,
online.
Buzz. Okay, we have buzz, but no, we don't have bugs. We have buzz. Yeah, I think it would be interesting to implement. So, because there's many good technique we can apply here, and I can demonstrate a very interesting way to use FileMaker and a combination of card style window that can be extremely helpful here. Okay, so that makes a difference. Before the card style window, it would have been okay, but now it would be great to do that. So the idea is here, not having a duplication, triplication of the same documents, which is true, you save space, Also, you have one place where you have all the documents, so backups, everything easier, storage easier, so and faster, right? So the concept will be that you need to, in each file, you need a cross-reference table that will reference the documents to that pilot/balloon in each file. Okay, so each file will have this cross-reference table. So the document can be referenced to multiple files, okay? So one document, and then you spread it like this, and you reference to multiple files, the same doc. But if you do this, and I think we're going to do it, so because we have Tomcat, yeah, I'm going to read what you said. So we need something to call, we need something to go and see and grab, right? The document, if it's existing, right?
Right.
So if you have an existing documents, right? For that, what's the name? For that, that you want to use for that balloon or for that pilot, right? So we can we can do it, right? For example, if you have a certificate for a balloon, right?
Right.
So that in that case, we have the number of the balloon, right? We have, the reference number, the balloon, I don't know how you call that.
The registration number. Yeah.
Yeah,
the
registration number. Okay, so we have this, so we can fetch the document and say, okay, yeah, I have one. Okay. Also, you can have a browser, a document browser per document type, right? And then you can browse the documents, search documents, browse documents, filter documents, and then you can pick one or multiple, and then attach those documents again. Okay, so you have and of course, when you don't have the document and you don't have the document because you just received it, right? And you want to insert it in the system. Okay, we need something like you call the document list to see if you have it, but you have also a add button, to add a document and then attach to the current. Okay, so
similar to what we're doing now in one file, it's just going to go to a separate file.
Yeah, so we're going to extract, and I can show how to do that, how to extract, okay, the documents table, okay, in another file, and how not to break anything. That the clue. I mean, because today it's implemented. We have ramification, we have relationship, we have many things calling this doc table.
Right.
So we don't want to break this.
No.
Right? We don't want to run through all the file and redo it. So that would be a good demonstration. So I'm going to do it. First, we're going to implement the OCR. Why? Because the OCR will be extremely valuable.
Right.
Because you dump your documents in that database, and we recognize for you the serial number or the registration number or whatever,
Right. All those dates.
Whatever we will be able to grab, right? We'll take it, right? So so that would be interesting. But the philosophy behind having multiple files is this. If you have one file like yours, for example, okay, so you have one project file, one solution, okay, and that everything together, right? You don't split in multiple files. It's complicated. You don't have any advantage. Okay, you don't have.
Right.
You have only inconvenience to do that. Okay. There's no advantage whatsoever to do this. The only advantage, so the only way I use multiple files is your case. So that means you have a file shared with multiple, right? So in that case, yeah, that's another file. Okay, so
kind of multiple front ends and one back end almost.
Yeah. So, and you can have multiple things like this. You can have multiple entities, right? So, yes, this is the best way to do that, right? Is to have multiple files and not replicate the same on multiple files. This is not good. Okay. So, if they share the document, if they don't share the document, you have no advantage whatsoever, only inconvenience.
Right.
But if they share the document, yeah, the multiple FileMaker file connected together, that's interesting. So yesterday we implemented the Hamburger Menu. So okay, so we implemented this. Okay, here is in the.
We never fixed this button. We did all the back end stuff of it.
Yeah. So this is a Hamburger menu. So you click and you have menus like this, right? So you can have as many as you want. And it works very well when you have a lot of things, right? It allows you you have many advantage of building something like this. So we use the technique of records and not having this as a button bar, because I saw many attempts of doing this. They are button bars, and it doesn't fit for that purpose. Okay, so these what you see here are polars, and they are records, right? So it's very easy to to get those things here, and we go to the layout where we want to go by clicking the button here, and we go there by using a technique which is in the record. So let me go back to the builder here. Okay. Here we put the scripts we want to use, because you will see that we can use that to do many other things, not just go to layout. We can use that to do other things, right? So you put the script name here and the layout name here, where you want to go. So I know people we argue, okay, if you read the script, you break it, and if you rename the layout, you break it. Yes, it's true. When you rename, you break. But when you have a script that has a strong purpose and a unique purpose, right? And this script is used all over the place, you don't rename it. You don't need. I will never need to rename that script, right? And pretty much, when we create a script and we use a script, 99% of the time we will never rename it. Never. Okay.
So name it right the first time.
Yeah, name it right the first time. And for the layout, it's the same thing. I mean, if you need to rename the layout, that means you're doing a big thing, right? A big change. So a layout, when you have a strong layout, when you have something built, you don't rename the layout. But you know that if you rename the layout, you're going to break something, right? Yes, there's technique we can use to get this done without worrying about the name of the layout. Okay, I understand, but I don't use those techniques. They are very complicated for no reason. I prefer to use the same philosophy as any other development platform, right? When you work on something like FileMaker, for example, when I was over there, if you want to rename something, you need a meeting and to get together with all the engineers and get sure that you're not going to break somebody else, right? So renaming, deleting is not something you do. You don't. If you work on your own, you can do what you want. But normally, technically, we never rename and we never delete anything. unless you have a certitude that you're not going to break anything, right? So there, that's why I don't care about using that technique and exposing breaking things, because and to be honest, it's not a big deal. If I have to rename the scripts, it's not a big deal. I name it and I go to the table. I replace all those script name, and I just replace the name, and that's it, right?
Just got to make sure you get them all.
It's not something. Yeah. Of course, we can use that technique of the script name on the record for many things, right? Many things. So it's a very strong technique, and I'm going to show that right in the future. So now I want to show you how we can enhance this. First, we need to spread what's the name? Hamburger Menu everywhere. So here what we go, so I have a script. It's the 0001C, okay? And I have a parameter, right? So here, pilot. So let's put that script here, right? This one. So I put this here and here.
And the parameter is already there because we copied it.
Yeah, because I copy paste the button from there.
Yeah.
Another solution. Okay. Okay, so now we have the script. So now, how this works, okay? When you click on the button here, you want the Hamburger Menu to open, but also to show where you were, where you are, I want to land here where I am right now, right? That's what I want.
Right.
Okay. I don't want to, each time I want to navigate, I don't want to have to click, I don't want to have many clicks. I want to land where I am now, position where I am now. Okay. So to do this, right, I'm using a list of values technique, So at startup, right, I create two variables, okay, at startup. So let's go to your starter scripts here. I don't know the name of your starter script, so.
Yeah, and we've been setting things in a set globals field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have the set global, but here I want to set something that needs to be in the scripts 001. It's the 001 new one. Do you see it? It's here. Okay. In this one, right, I need to so while we have all of those things, you did that?
Yes. Yeah, I have different groups that come in and they get one specific layout. It's actually a WebDirect thing. That they come in, if they log in with that account, it takes them to that one layout. That's all they can see.
Okay. So where are we when we land here? The first layout where we land.
We land on what was my pilot dashboard.
So we land on pilots.
Yes.
Okay. So and why that? Because you need for here? No, we don't need anything here.
No, they're going to be at the very end. See there? Yeah. If it's none of you guys, then go to the pilot dashboard.
Okay. But by default we land on this layout, right? So we land on the, okay.
We land on what was my pilot dashboard, but we would want to land on your new one.
Yeah. But, okay, so I want to know the default layout when we land on FileMaker, right? So when we open this file, I want to know where we land. So I close the file, I open the script debugger, and I reopen it. Okay, so we land here on the pilot dashboard, which is not a good technique. I shouldn't land there, right? I shouldn't, because there's what's the name, are triggers, and so I don't want to land there.
Okay.
So let's change this. Okay. Technically, what I'm doing here, first I have what I call a login table. Okay. So let's create it, right? Let's create the login table.
Okay.
And I pretty much so I said login, right? So I have a login. I look if I didn't. No, I didn't. So I create this login. I don't care about this, right? And I, pretty much create an ID, right? And I want their ID login, okay? And just to have an idea. It's not a big deal. And I can have this, right? And that's it. For now, I don't need anything else on that table. It's a table, right?
Okay.
It's a free table like this, and I'm going to I have a layout for that, right? So now I have a layout here on the bottom here. So I'm going to create here a new folder that I call utility. Okay. So I'll call that utility, and in the utility, I'm going to create a new tables, right? And I'm going to drag this. I have multiple things here, right? So pretty much I'm going to I can take this and this too. I can put them here in the table. Okay, and now I'm going to create a new layout, but I forgot to create an occurrence. So I have the table login table, right? Before to create a layout, I need to build an occurrence for the login, right? Technically, I'm calling that table, that occurrence here. I'm calling this T101, right? Login.
Okay.
Login. Okay. And here. Login. Right? So I'm naming like this, because the T01 for me, it's the globals, and the T101 is the login, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So it's my way. You can change that as you want. So now I have an occurrence that points to the table login, right? Right. And I'm going to create a layout. That's what I was doing right now. That points to that. And I call this L001 login. That's it. Okay. And it's a form view. Okay, so I have this login script, layout, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the layout, I just remove pretty much everything, and I keep the layout like this. Okay, that's all. Okay. So the layout empty, I have nothing. And in the database, in the file option here, I'm saying I want to land there. Okay? I want to land here.
Okay.
So now I know that I'm landing in this layout. And now I can have a relationship from that point. And I'm sure that the default will be there. And after that, I can go where I want. But by default, I want to land here. Okay?
Okay.
So why I'm doing this? Because I want to implement those scripts here. So this here, where is the hamburger? Right. I want to implement those two
variables
at startup. So when I start the file, I need those two variables to be populated. So I'm going to, the 001 script here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here at that point, right? At that point, I am in the 101 login occurrence, right? So
because it was the default, you're there. Yep.
Because it was the default. So I'm there and I'm going to rebuild this, right? But now I need a relationship that goes to those two tables, navigation menu and navigation item. I need, right?
Mm-hmm.
I need the two relationship to go to those two tables. So I go back here and I'm going to create those two. Okay. Correct? So I'm going to take this and rename it. So this is a T101A from the login to the navigation items, because this or menu, whatever, because this is the one we go. And I want a Cartesian link. It's a Cartesian link. That means I want all the records.
Everything. Yep.
Everything. So Cartesian is that's why I need I need one like this, right? That's why I need this. Otherwise you won't work.
Yeah, something to link to.
Yeah, exactly. And I said Cartesian. So I have the first done. And now I need to do the same, right? With the item, right? Cartesian link as well.
Mm-hmm.
This is B, and I'm going there. And I say this and Cartesian. Okay?
Yep.
Okay, so I have my stuff done. So at login, I'm landing here. I'm in this one. Okay?
Right.
So these two are available to me immediately after login. Okay? So now I can say this global variable, I want to go to the menu item, right? So I want to go to the T101B, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want the parameter field. I want everything in the parameter. And I want here the 101A and go, and I want the navigation item. Okay? What happened? Oh, yeah, that's why I think my name was wrong. My name is wrong because it's sorry, I need to check on this because my name is wrong. They all go to menu item. See how the name can confuse you?
Yeah.
How the name can confuse you, right? So it's they all go to the they all go to the same. So I don't need to. That's why I was surprised that I need to build two. Actually, I need only this one. I don't need this one, so I renamed this A. Sorry for that. I need only one relationship, only one, and I need two fields, right? I need the T101A parameters and the T101. That's why I was very surprised. I was confused. Sorry for that. A, and I want the ID. So I'm pulling whatever in the parameter table. So whatever here, I'm pulling whatever in this field, right?
Yep.
And whatever in this field.
Got it.
I want all, okay? But here what happened. So it's important you understand, because it's a very good technique, by the way. It's an excellent technique. It's a very, very good technique to do what I want to do. And we'll be able to replicate that technique for other things as well, okay? So let's see what the relationship gives me out of this. So I want the list of the T101A parameter. I have this, correct?
Right.
And I want also the ID.
Mm-hmm.
I have this.
Right.
Correct? Okay. So what do I do here? I am taking this list of items, of IDs, and taking list of this. But they are in sync. Proof of it. L100 pilot dashboard is the first value in the list. And on the other list, it's the first value, it's A24230.
Right.
And it's correct. Yep. A24230 is linked, is related to the L100 pilot. Now, what do I have in this list? The second item, it's L200. And the second item here, it's 7807977.
Yep.
Okay, so that means both lists here, this one and the other one, value by value, they match. The first value on this match the ID of the first value of this. The second value of this match the ID. Okay, correct?
Right.
All right. So now, okay, I know if I use and abuse of this wonderful custom function of mine, right?
Yeah.
Get value position, right? I use that. And I want to use, so I'm asking the list of the parameter, and I'm saying, okay, so I need two lists. Let's build the let statement, okay, for the demonstration.
Okay.
That the parameters, okay, that the parameters, correct?
Okay.
So let me build the, and that is the menu item. So I have two, I have the parameters and the menu items, okay? Right? So in my let statement, that's why I use let statement. If I want to see what the parameters are, I'm doing this.
Have you
Oh,
set that?
I did no, it's because I didn't launch this. Okay. So I need to populate those two
Oh,
things.
yeah, right.
So it's easy. So when I need to go to the login and populate that script. That's it, right? And voila, it's so I have the list. So now I have it. So I populate it, right? Oh, yeah, you have your script. Okay. So I populate it. So now it's available to me, right? If I go there, I have those two. They are all available to me, right? This and this, right? So I populate them. So now here that works. So the parameter, I have this, and the menu items, I have this, right?
Right.
Right? Parameters, menu items. And now I'm saying, okay, what do I want to look for? I want to look for the layout name, okay? And it's a get layout name, okay? So now I have the layout name, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to the layout name where I have, where I'm normally where I'm going to use that hamburger, right?
Yep.
So now I have the current layout name, the get layout name. So I am in that layout. So this is it. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I have all my IDs and all my parameters. Okay. Which I can call, another name. But let's call that. This is the parameters of the script, and that the ID, right?
Yep. I'm
Is the
following.
ID. Okay. Okay. Now, what I want to do is this. And I have the layout name. Let's do this now. Get value position. I'm looking for the layout name inside my parameters.
Parameters list.
Okay. I am on the position number 1.
Mm-hmm.
In that list, this layout name is on the position number 1. Let's check if I go to the balloon, if it changed the position, right? Let's check. Position number 2. That's correct, because this is on position number 2. Correct?
Yep.
Okay. So now let's copy this and add this inside my let statement. And I said this is the value position. This.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have all the thing, right? And now I can say so I know that this layout name in this list, the position is number 2.
Mm-hmm.
So in this list, the value, the ID is this.
Go to that list, get the corresponding piece of data, basically.
That means I have 2 lists, right? So let's put together.
Find in list 1, go get it from list 2.
I want to make sure that people understand what's going on, okay? Because it's a very, very, very cool technique, okay? To avoid fields and here I have 2 lists. I have this list and I have this list. Okay?
Yep.
Okay. Let's put this a little bit of spacing. Oops. Okay. 2 lists. This list, this list. Correct? Okay. I have the current layout name, let's say, is this one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My system says, okay, this name, I tell you, is on position number 2. Okay. Because, yeah, it's in position number 2 in that list. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So since these 2 lists are synced, I mean, this value and this value belong to the same record.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know that the ID of this balloon, because it is on the position number 2, the ID of the balloon
that ID.
is this one, and I grab the second, so this is the ID. Okay?
Right.
So when you want to do this, so imagine now how cool that could be, right? How you want to do that, without put the relationship, set the field, put the name, have a relationship with a name and name, both relation. Okay, we don't need that, right? Pull the 2 lists and then do this, that's it. Correct?
Yeah.
So that's a very, very good technique. I'm using that all the time, because it's very cool. Okay. So now, because I want to know the ID, I never rely on names. I never rely on names. I rely on IDs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now I know that in that table, if I'm starting from that layout, which is the L100, that will be in my list. That will be the ID I need to grab. Okay.
Yep.
So let's see if it works. Okay. So I'm saying here, I click here and I say, okay, current nav. This is where I have my calc. The current nav is here. This is the ID of the current nav. Hold on a second. Okay, so they're playing with the console. Okay, so this is the ID. Okay. Now, what do I do with this ID? I'll open the burger, the second one, right? But it's already
Right.
there, right? I'm opening the big burger, the burger open, right?
Mm-hmm.
I set the fields and I go to the related record. So I don't have a lot of records here, but so this
But
is.
if we did, it would still
That
find
means
it wherever it is.
yeah, because it is right. Why I'm doing this? Okay, because I want to position myself where, I want to position myself exactly where I need to be. So now I am on pilots and on the pilot dashboard, right?
Yeah.
So let's say, closing this, right? So let's say, so this is where I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say now I want to go to the balloon dashboard.
Right.
Okay.
We're there.
So, and now I click on the burger again. Here, new window are open, but I land on pilots when I start the burger.
Right.
I land on the first record. I have no idea, which record I was. But I'm setting a global with the ID of the current, of the ID of the current layout where I click the button, and the go to a record, we go to the record that belongs to that ID, which is balloon.
Yeah,
Correct?
which is actually the balloon dashboard in balloons.
Exactly. So I am now in the record because the burger here, I have two separate portal. Okay, let's go there. I have this portal here, which is the current table portal. It's a master detail portal. Okay, a current table portal.
Yeah.
Right. And here I have a related table. This is related, but this one is the current. That means the portal will show me automatically which record I am. See, if I have two records, you know. So if I put here, right? If I put here where I should be, right? So the script here, it does, you know, when I do the navigation, open the burger. I'm grabbing the current navigation and I'm setting this field with the current ID, this. From this table, the 111, I have a relationship between that global field and the other table, right? And the, you know, and the current, that means here, right? I have here, which one it is, I don't remember. Here, right? So this one is the one that let me go to the record that belongs to this with the related record. I don't want to do a search, right? So so that is a good opportunity to me to show you the difference between a perform find and the go to that record. Okay, I'm going to show you the difference. Okay, if I do a search, this is what I get. What? I search for this ID, and I search this. I have one. But now, look when I use a global, you know, can name like this. Okay. I use a global instead. So this is a global field. And I use, so I am in the wrong table, but it's okay. I can use this. I'm here, right? And I want to search for a record, right? So I'm putting here by the ID. So I'm connecting that global with the ID where I'm searching, okay? So we saw that search, if I do perform find, I paste the ID, I go there, right? Now, what happened if I use the transfer technique, okay? With this new script. Yeah, okay. I have a test and I say, go to rare record. And I want to go there. And I want to use there. Okay. So this is how it works. I show all. I paste the ID here, which is a global. And I use this. Go to relay record. Right? So let's say I'm anywhere, you know, this is a record, activate record, right? And I use this and I say, go to that. So show me that record. Okay. Show me that record. Boom. It's the same as perform find. Correct?
Yep.
It's the same. Okay. Now, I'm disengaging this. Okay? And this what happened. I'm here, for example, go to related record. Oh, I need to save this. Okay, look, I'm here. Bam. This is a record I was looking for. He put me, so if let's say let's do that with another record. Okay. So it's 5C366. So it will position myself here. Go. Bam. It go to related records, but without constraining. It just go.
Just go.
I said go to related record, okay? But just go. Just go. Don't try to match the current record only. I disengage this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a good technique to navigate from one record to another, but keeping, keeping the font set, right? I want to keep the font set. I don't want to, to constrain like perform fine. I just want to go and keep the font set. For example, let's say I eliminate those three, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a font set of 4 out of 8, right? And I use this, boom. It doesn't disrupt the font set.
Just moves you to the appropriate record.
Exactly. So now, what happened, right? If I don't have the record that I want to go in the current font set, I don't have the record.
Mm-hmm.
It's not there.
Right.
And I do this. He's doing this. Boom. He's pretty much doing a show all and position myself where that records.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So now you understand how the burger works. I grab the ID thanks to the get layout name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grabbing the ID. Okay. Grabbing it. Since in the builder, okay, I use FileMaker layout name. I'm using layout name here. I'm using the current layout name.
Mm-hmm.
That, right? The name that I have here, right? I'm using this, correct? So, and I paste here. So I know that if I have a function that says get layout name, I will pull a name that is here, correct?
Right.
So thanks to this, I'm going to pull my tool list, right? And I'm going to do the get value position stuff. And I will get the ID of the record. Thanks to that ID, I'm doing exactly the same thing I just did. I'm setting a global, right? Set a global with the current ID. And then I'm using a go to a record without this. And then it will position myself in the right record, which is the second one here, right? I am here. I am in the balloon record. That belongs in the balloon. Now, how do I highlight this? Right? Because I cannot do relate record here. I cannot say go to record here. This is a portal. So how I know, right? How I know that this record is the active one. Why this one is highlighted? Because I'm populating a global variable that is always available to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the moment when you click, I'm setting this global variable, and I rely on that global variable to hide and show objects. So these objects, I said, if their ID is different than the one I have in the global variable, hide the object. And if it's not, that's the opposite, if it's equal, hide this one. If it's not equal, show this one, right? Hide this one. If it's not equal, hide. If it's equal, hide. Then I have the perfect opposite. So it's a hide and show of objects based on the global variable that I just populated because I just click on the button.
Yeah.
Right. So the technique is simple. I'm grabbing the name of the current layout. I'm running against those two lists here. I'm running against the current parameters. I say, okay, this name of layout is the second position, correct? So pull the second ID, put it here, and go to the record that belongs to that ID. And I'm taking care of this thanks to that variable.
Yep.
Right? Thanks to that variable, I know where I am. So I highlight the item where I am. So that makes the navigation much simpler. Because I was in balloon dashboard. I'm in balloon dashboard. Okay, I know.
Yep.
Then you can go to pilot dashboard, and you go. You click, I'm in pilot dashboard. Okay, balloon, boom. This is better because when you click, you know where you are. Right?
Yep. Yeah. No, that's nice.
Okay. So now, before we go, we have if you have question, Marge, you can prepare the question. I want to show you something, right? What this technique allows you to do, right? What this technique allows me to do, the burger, because I have a pretty big burger here, okay? That's a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of things, it's so this is why I came with that technique, because there's so many things, right? So you have big lists, right? And you can scroll here, see?
Yeah.
Okay. But I also want to be able to do this. So I want to go to contact, but I want to go there. I want to go to company, but I want to go there. I want to go to sites, but I want to go there. Parcel here. Contact here. Company.
Kind of a
here.
subset of the hamburger.
Yes. So I have a direct access of the burger from here. And actually, I'm doing nothing. This list here, see, is the same portal here.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Why? It's super easy. Just what I need to do is to grab the ID of that record here, because those are records. So if I have the ID of that parent key, of the parent ID here, I know I can grab all the records that belongs to this, right? So now, just what I need to do is to click here, and I have a script that says, okay, set the fields. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Set the field with the parcel. Now, with the field with the burger side of the parcel. And if I click here, I still show the parcel because I didn't change the ID. Now I'm changing the ID.
There it changed. Yep.
Right? Correct?
Yeah.
If I do this on company, I open the same photo, but I'm changing the parent key, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to build, it's super easy. Why? Because it's the same damn portal I put here and here and here and here. It's the same portal. Just I'm
Just
changing
different
the
key.
ID. I'm changing the ID. So it's the same portal. I don't need to have multiple relationship. It is the same portal that I'm showing here. Navigation parcel, navigation parcel is the same. So I just replicated the same, duplicate, is the same.
Yeah.
What changed is the ID of the record. Then I pull different items in that portal when I click on the button.
Yeah.
Because when I click on the button here, right, I have a script on enter, right, that says, okay, change that. I call that the mini navigation. Change that ID, that field with that ID, which is the ID of the record for the parcel. So the burger is extensively beautiful. Why? Because it's record-based. So we can do whatever we want. If I want to filter, I can filter. If I want, for example, to deactivate items, right? If I don't want somebody to do something like, for example, I don't want, for example, somebody to see the data set. Boom. From that portal, I just ignore the record. Or I don't want the people to go to the tools. Or I don't want the people to go to the miscellaneous. You can do whatever you want. You can hide things very easily, right? You can say, I don't want this, I don't want that, based on the current user, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the burger is extremely powerful. You can extend the burger, pull it out of the burger, put it in the sub menu like this, right? That's cool. You're there and you want to go there, right? So you have the big navigation if you want, but here I want direct access to this because it's something I'm going all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you can go and you can go to the dockets and go to the hearings and you go wherever you want, right?
Any of those things that run to that one. Yeah.
If you want to go to the analysis layout, you click there directly from here, right? And thanks to that technique of the variable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I don't lose where I am. So I click here, I'm here, and I want to go there, back, right? I can. Right? So the burger is very simple. It's just a set fields, a global, and that's it. Right? It's with an ID. Okay. So
and you can make mini burgers after it.
And you make mini burger, or you can do a sub menu, right? You can present the way you want. I present that way, but it could be a popover somewhere. This is a button bar popover, right? But you can have a button bar, you can have a popover, on here,
Yeah.
Right? So what happened, for example, when you do record-based, when you base something on records, right? For example, this is a report management, right? Before the guy has a huge huge button bar with a checkbox and a value list with checkbox and stuff like this.
Yeah, we've all been there, I think.
Yeah. Now, this is all record based. This is records, and this is records. So I want to launch these 4 reports, right? I can launch, and the thing goes, right? And you manage this, right? Going to the tools system, and you manage report here. Mm-hmm. And you say, okay, that the parser state form reports, that reports, that the script I need to launch. Right?
Yeah.
That the scripts and that the parameter. Scripts. So tomorrow, I'm building a script for a new report, whatever. This is the new report. Here, I want to add a script. I want to add a report,
Mm-hmm.
I call it Nick test. I paste it. I put my parameter. I don't need that, by the way. Right? Oh, by the way, I can do something. Very cool. Look. Show custom dialog. And I want hello, for example. So I want to the new script. Okay. So let's say test Nick. Okay. And let's rename it. Okay. So now I have a new report, let's say. So I'm going back to this, right? And I'm going there, report. I have test Nick here. I want to launch this. Bam. Hello. Is there. Right?
And you could have put the parameter in there instead of hard coding.
You can put parameters. Yeah, I could put parameters, whatever. Right?
Yeah. All that stuff, because you have it all set up to do that.
So
nice.
you have a UI. You have a UI, right? That you don't need to intervene, right?
Well, because any of your users could go add something in if they knew what script to run and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you need to build a script because a report, and you can delete this. But you don't need to imagine you want to add a new report. Oh, you need to build a button, put the layout mode. No, you don't need that.
Yeah,
I can add a new section completely if I want. I have a new section here. I add a new script. And I put the script here, and I have the new, and I have my new stuff,
Add records and menu changes.
Yeah, it's there. So I go there, parcel. I go there. I have my new report stuff. Is there, boom. Right. So no, it's when you use records, always try to go to the lowest level possible when you do something. For example, a button, it's the highest, it's not the lowest, right? The lowest is the value, right?
Right.
The lowest is the value. Then you have the records, right? Then you have a table, a field, table, and then you have the layout. The layout is the top on the food chain, okay? The lowest on the food chain is the value. Here, at some point, I'm using the lowest, which is the value, right? In the burger, mm-hmm. I'm using 2 value lists, right? 2 lists of values,
right?
And I compare. Okay, so always try to go to the lowest, right? So I get my ID using the lowest in the food chain, which is what's the name? Which is the value. Then I'm going a level up. I'm setting a field with a records, right? So you see, So you try to go, but I don't, and my button relies on everything that is below. You know, the UI rely on what's below, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's why the UI doesn't need to be changed and manipulated, because, you know, if I change the name of if I change the name of the menu, it will still work, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. Anyway, so if we don't have questions, we can just go.
We have one.
Mark.
Are the selections on top records?
Sorry?
Are the selections on top records?
Are the selections on top records? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everything is records. Oh, you mean about the reports? Of course, it's on top reports. On top here, this is records. That's why I can scroll. Otherwise, you cannot scroll. When I have many, I can scroll. This is record, related records. One table, another table, right? See?
Yeah.
And then I'm clicking here. I grab the ID, and then I say launch, and I have the scripts that belongs to the script name on the records. So I'm pulling all the scripts names with the parameters. I put this in memory in the global, and then I run. I have a loop that says, okay, loop, perform script by name, loop, perform script by name, loop, perform script by name, loop, and so that's why I can launch multiple reports like this and multiple scripts, right? If you want to script this, you can't. If you want to make a hard-coded script, you cannot do this. Looking amazing as usual, thinking, okay, good discussion today, pick more today. Okay, so Marge, we can go.
I think we're probably good. Thank you very much, Nick and Ken.
You
See you
bet.
tomorrow,
Thank you,
guys.
guys. Thanks, everybody.
We will see you tomorrow.
Got a report of an individual up here who may be a FileMaker license. Well, it's potentially expired. Look at the back of that car right there. Looks like the FileMaker license has expired. Sir, I need you to step out of the vehicle. Sir, step out of the vehicle. Sir!